Never in a million years did I think this was gonna happen to Demon Slayer, but it's kinda smart. Last week we got a little leak from Yokutya. If you've followed anime games for any amount of time, you've heard this name before. This person gets the latest Weekly Jump leaks ahead of anyone. Yokutya said that the new Weekly Shonen Jump scans would include something for a new Demon Slayer game. No idea if it was gonna be Hinokami Chronicles DLC, or if it was actually Demon Slayer 2 or something else entirely.
Boys!
Now we know what he was talking about. It's a new Demon Slayer game, but it's not what you were expecting. This is a Demon Slayer board game coming out exclusively for the Nintendo Switch in the year of 2024. Basically, this is Mario Party Demon Slayer Edition, where instead of Mario and friends competing to become the superstar by collecting several stars across the board, Tanjiro and friends are going to chase the magic sword instead. I don't know what that means, not yet at least, but that's the info that we have on the scan, where we can also see a little bit of the board itself. There are some plus spaces, some minus spaces, a space with a Slayer mask, and whatever the green one is. Comparing to Mario Party, I would say that it's plus coins, minus coins, an event space of sorts, and let's say an item space. And the board extends upwards, so it's not just a square, you can see some curves and some diagonals behind the art that is apparently drawn by Ufotable. Apparently they will be drawing the cover art for this game. It's not the first time that anime games have done something like this. One of my all-time favorites is One Piece Pirates Carnival for the PlayStation 2. This was one of my favorite anime games growing up, but this one does not have a board like Mario Party does. You don't really launch a dice to determine the number of spaces you move because it's not bullshit. Skill-based party games, that's what I'm all about. Now, I don't think this news will be very well received by fans, that's just my prediction. I hope I'm wrong though, because this is happening right after Ultimate Burst, where we just had one of the biggest Demon Slayer tournaments ever. And the grand finals kind of killed the interest in the game for a lot of viewers and players, because the current meta is quite boring to watch and honestly quite boring to play. This is not the player's fault, obviously, it's just how the game is right now. That's the meta. So for a while, we've been wanting a Hinokami Chronicles sequel, and after seeing that grand finals, we kinda want it to happen soon. Expecting an arena fighter and then getting a board game maybe is not the news that you wanted to hear, but I think it's really smart. I've said it before, but if there is a sequel to Demon Slayer, I don't think it's coming as soon as people expect. My predicted release date is October 24th, 2025. I talked about it in a previous video along with everything else that we can expect for Demon Slayer 2 if you want to know more details on why I think that is the release date. But this game coming out in 2024 only supports that theory because now you have a buffer game and you can give Hinokami Chronicles 2 more development time. This board game does not mean that a sequel to Hinokami Chronicles 2 isn't coming. It means that the sequel actually has more time to cook. After all, no one wants a Storm Connection situation where the game is launching with no way to invite your own friends into a multiplayer match. Let's make it feature complete at launch.
Please.
It's also a smart game to publish because on the tech side of things, it's a simpler game to develop. On a lot of different fronts, but for instance, netcode. You probably don't even need that special of a netcode to play this game. Well, maybe it depends on minigames, I guess. But it's usually fine even if you're playing it on Switch on Wi-Fi. Party games usually don't require impressive tech to just be good. And while 2024 is a whole year with no idea on whether this is coming early or late 2024, I don't think it matters much because, you know what? I'm kinda down for this. Whatever it is. I love it when publishers get creative with their anime IP. For as much as I want a sequel to Hinokami Chronicles, I also want diversity. And I bet this is gonna have some cool minigames and it will be nice casual fun to have with friends. That's my take on it, but I would love to hear yours. If you're into arena fighters, however, we do have some other news in this Weekly Shonen Jump. And that is the confirmation of 3 new characters coming to Jujutsu Kaisen Curse Clash. We've got Todo, Jogo, and Hanami all confirmed to be coming out and be playable at launch. And yes, they have made sure that you can swap places with your opponent when you are playing as Todo. It's not the first time we'll see something like this in an arena fighter because Sasuke kinda does it in Storm Connections, but in a 2v2 game this means something completely different, especially when one of the characters in this game has a very unique gimmick, Friendly Fire. Sukuna will deal damage to foes and friends alike. Well, let's imagine Sukuna is fighting against an opponent and Todo, all the way across the stage, just swaps places with Sukuna, and suddenly Sukuna is dealing damage to his own teammate. There's some trolling potential here, and I like it. Sadly, the details on Jogo and Hanami aren't so interesting. Jogo has high movement, and that's kinda all we can take from this text, and Hanami is a ground combat specialist, being able to manipulate plants to perform various attacks, which is something something that I guess I haven't thought of yet. In the trailer, you see Gojo jumping and attacking from the air, so it is possible that this game will have air specialists as well as ground specialists, like Hanami seems to be. The scan also confirms a couple of new mechanics. There's an awakening attack that you can only unleash once your cursed energy is at the maximum level. To understand that mechanic better though, make sure to watch my previous video on this. And also co-op attacks will be a thing. This being a 2v2 game, it makes perfect sense to include some unique co-op ultimate animations. In fact, Viking has done this before with My Hero 1 Justice 2. But that's it on this Shonen Jump. I also broke down how every other confirmed character plays so far in this video right here, because trust me, JJK Curse Clash is way crazier than you think. Go check that out, and thanks for watching. Bye.